my loyalty to Snape was not that true, I would have been really devastated for a long time.
Dumbledore died how he lived, telling Snape what to do.
Hello, everyone, and welcome back to BIBLIOBIBULI. Today we are doing another comments video.
Answering your most interesting comments and sought-after questions.
Or just throwing our opinions at you because we feel like it.
All right, so question number... Not question.
It's not a question.
It's not a question. The comment left by Bunny A, our first comment. I find it funny that Voldy is essentially a theater kid. Accurate. Also, it's kind of sad how he gives this whole speech on how this 60-something-year-old man is stronger than a teenager. And his buddies too. Like, dude, this is not the flex you think it is. And then the next chapter happens, and well, lol. This is chapter 33 in The Goblet of Fire, The Death Eaters.
And we all know what she's talking about.
Oh, yes.
Hands down, one of the best monologues in the whole series.
But she has a point. It's literally just, now watch as this fully grown man kills a child.
Yep.
And then, well, nope.
No, it didn't work out that way, did it?
Maybe Voldemort forgot his reading glasses or something, threw off his aim.
Well, no, Priory Incantatum happens.
Oh, yeah, that's true.
So...
Well, he forgot his reading glasses, didn't read the fine print in the wand manual.
Well, remember, Voldemort is so arrogant that he doesn't care about that kind of magic.
He's a true man. I don't need instructions. I'll do it myself. I know how to do it.
Yep. I just love that this is something that like keeps coming back in the comments because I remember reading this with you and you were just going, dude, just shut up. You could have killed Harry by now. And it's like, that's the point. He can't get out of his own way. He's too arrogant. But I just think it's so funny when everyone's like, dude, everyone else can see it except for him. That's what's so funny about it. Everyone else can see where Voldemort is just, if you would just shut up for 5 minutes. But he just can't. He cannot help himself.
This comment just makes the best point of the game. He's a theater kid. Maybe if they had a drama class in the orphanage, things would have went differently.
Or at Hogwarts.
Or at Hogwarts. I'm surprised why wouldn't they,
I think
they have everything else.
I think we had this conversation and they said that somewhere on Pottermore they tried to do it once and it turned into an utter disaster.
Oh. Any reason why?
Spells misfiring and fires got started on accident and like the whole play like collapsed into chaos because of just magic gone wrong.
Just sounds like bad casting.
Possibly. Maybe they were missing Voldemort.
Maybe it happened because Voldemort was there and he got too carried away with his monologuing.
Or maybe he was mad.
He didn't get the lead role.
Yeah, maybe he was mad he didn't get cast in the part he wanted to play. I think a Harry Potter musical sums up Voldemort very, very well.
Yeah.
I tap my foot. My little foot.
You think the Death Eaters were looking at him like, cool flex, bro, but he's getting away.
It would be interesting to think about what the Death Eaters were thinking. Like,
yeah.
What was on Lucius? Well, Lucius Malfoy was probably just glad he was not murdered.
Yeah.
I think most of them were probably just like, I'm just glad he didn't kill me.
Lucius is just thinking, thank God I wore my brown pants.
Thank God I wore my brown pants, and thank goodness he didn't ask me about the diary yet. So this comment comes from Katie, one of our longtime subscribers and very good personal friend. She said, I just wanted to add to your conversation about why Dobby didn't appear during the Resurrection Stone scene. I agree with everything you said, Lex, about the different kind of love Harry felt for Dobby. Also, in that moment, Harry summoned the kind of people who would have given him the emotional support he needed to go into the forest and sacrifice himself. They are the people he would turn to for advice. If he had summoned Dobby, I'm pretty sure Dobby would be telling him not to do it and turn back. That would have been a very different scene. Lol.
Fair point. Dobby probably also would have broken his leg so that he couldn't.
Potter must not go into the forest.
Dobby grabs a big stick and just starts whacking him in the shin.
Yep.
Dobby will save you.
I think she also brings up an excellent point that all of these people that are summoned there are people that he does ask for advice. These are the people he looks to when he has to make a tough decision and he asks them questions. James and Lily are there in the graveyard. They're ghostly apparitions, but they're there.
Yeah.
They're there in the mirror. And Lupin and Sirius give him countless amounts of advice about all kinds of things.
That's true.
Some of it maybe not so good. Some of it pretty good. But
still, even with this reason, I think it would have been great if Snape showed up.
Yeah.
Even in death, Potter, I can't get rid of you. But I learned so much from you, Snape. Technically
he did.
He doesn't know it, but he did.
He'll figure that out later.
Yeah. But yes, I think that's a great way to put it.
Yeah.
Dobby definitely would have tried to stop him.
Yeah, that's what I mean. I think this comment is, number one, very well written. Number two, we did not bring up that point. And that, yeah, Dobby...
It answered it much better than we did.
Yeah, we rambled on for a hot minute. Because, yeah, he definitely would have tried to stop him.
Mm-hmm.
So, Dan Williams, Shake, Rattle, and Roll, a frequent participant in our live streams. Always good to see him. They said the tunnel under the Whomping Willow isn't on the map. I hope all the young dudes discusses leaving it off. So this is in reference to chapter 17 of The Prisoner of Azkaban, Cat, Rat, and Dog, and talking about all the young dudes fanfiction that we're currently reading in our streams.
Which is the story of Lupin and the Marauders and their journey through Hogwarts.
And their life.
Yeah.
And it's very good.
And the development of the Marauders map, and we're learning how it all came together. And, yeah, that will be interesting if they mention it.
I mean, I think I pretty much know why.
Well, they don't want anyone to accidentally find out about it.
Right, and discover Lupin in there.
Yeah.
Perchance.
Like, someone almost did.
Because someone else told them to go down there.
Yeah. I wonder what he told him.
I hope that all the young dudes will tell us what it is.
Well, yeah, but I mean, like, canon.
Yeah, what actually did Sirius say?
Yeah.
I'm curious, too. What exactly did he say?
Was he just like, Lupin has a deep, dark secret. Go to the Whomping Willow at midnight, and you will discover.
Touch the notch in the tree. Go in the tunnel, and you shall see.
And there we go. Yeah. Now this is sounding like a real treasure map.
Yep.
But if Snape really just, like, hated the Marauders as much as he did when he was a kid, why would he even trust Sirius enough to try it? You know?
It's gotta be
There's
what Sirius said.
There's a lot of questions around him.
Sirius must have... That's why I'm saying, what did he say to him?
Yeah.
How did he convince him to trust him enough to go down there? I don't know.
I'm going to start writing these down, and we're just going to send an email to Rowling and just see if she'll answer these.
No, we have to tweet her.
I'd rather email.
Yeah, but she's always talking on Twitter. She might answer us.
That's true.
That was mean. And up next, we have another comment from Bunny A. They are just full of interesting things to say.
The issue with the house elves, whether they are or are not representation of slavery, is that Hermione is still a child and can't comprehend that true change takes time. She wants things done immediately, but she fails to realize you can't dismantle a system that has been in place for centuries in a few weeks. The elves of today are descendants of generations of elves who taught their children how to survive working under the wizards, and if they could learn to love their position, they would be safe. Winky and Dobby are wonderful, radical examples of both ends of the situation. Winky embodying the true qualities of the house elf, being properly ashamed of being dismissed, and Dobby who yearned for freedom. I 100% agree with that. I think that's a perfect way to put it.
I think it's a very accurate summation for sure. And I know there's a lot of discussion about the house elves representing slavery versus they actually represent brownies in traditional European culture. But a lot of people look at the house elves as slave institution. So if you're looking at it from that angle, she's absolutely 100% correct. Hermione is trying to create change very quickly and without understanding it. But at the same time, you also have to admire Hermione's passion to do it.
Oh, 100%. But I think that's why, like, the child aspect comes in, where she wants it to change now.
Yeah.
She doesn't realize that you're taking something that has been ingrained in someone for so long.
Centuries.
Yeah, it's all they know. And then telling them that that's wrong, that's not how things should work, and it should work like this. Because they've found comfort and safety in their situation. So, and the idea of being free, it's
terrifying.
Yeah,
it's terrifying. And also the opinion of the wizards, because you have people obviously like the Malfoys, who are the very worst extreme example of what it is to have a house elf, or the Blacks.
Yeah.
But then you also have, so not only are you not going to change their minds, but the minds of the people that you have to change are people like Ron, right? Harry has no concept of it whatsoever, so he thinks it's messed up, just like Hermione does. But then you have someone like Ron who is just lived in it his whole life and just assumes, well, they're happy with it. Don't fix what's not broken. It's fine. They're happy doing what they do.
Well, I think
and his Ron's and maybe his family's way of permeating this kind of oppression is not that they are actively wanting to keep the house elves where they are, but they're just complacent, and it is what it is. And those are the minds that Hermione has to change. And she eventually does, right? So
yeah.
But Bunny A is absolutely right. Like, you can't just knit a bunch of hats and free them all and it's all gonna be okay.
Yeah.
Because look at what happens to Winky.
Exactly.
Dobby, she sees Dobby and she sees that freedom has been great for Dobby.
Even Dobby,
is an outlier.
And even Dobby, the outlier, the most enthusiastic elf ever, tells Dumbledore, no. I only want 1 day off.
Yep.
And I only want, 1 galleon a week or something?
Yeah.
He cuts them down because he tells him 10 galleons, and he's like, no.
That's too much. It's too much. Yeah.
Let's start small here. Okay.
Yeah. 3. What did he give him? A day off a week or something, or
a day off a month, I think.
Well, no, Dumbledore offered him.
Oh yeah,
like a day off a week or 2
days off or 1 day off, yeah, something like that.
And Dobby was like, no, that's too much. I can't handle that.
What am I supposed to do with my free time?
But if Hermione got her way and all the elves were just suddenly free, what would they do? Half of them would probably become butterbeer.
Yeah. I mean, you got to think their whole
Not that they would all be as extreme as Winky.
No.
I mean, because look at Creature. Creature is not Winky by any stretch of the imagination.
But you got to think think of them more of as workaholics.
Right.
They have no hobbies outside of work or anything. So if you take that away, they have nothing to do.
Right. You can't just free them and then let them go. You have to free them.
It's like you're working 60, 70 hours a week, and then all of a sudden your boss tells you, oh, we're letting you go. And then you're just sitting on the couch with nothing to do.
Yeah.
You go crazy.
Right, you have to when it's so ingrained like that, you have to it's just not that simple as you're free, you're good to go.
It's kind of how I felt going from my last job to this job.
I mean, freeing them, just give them a piece of clothes and they're free, right? Like that's fine. But
now,
then what are they going to do?
Yeah.
That's, Anyway, great comment. This next comment comes from Braxton Allen, who I think we mentioned a couple of his comments last time. He always leaves pretty interesting comments. Imagine if Harry had just put a silencing charm on Malfoy instead of fighting him. Flitwick had already taught them how to do that. That's from chapter 19 of the Order of the Phoenix, The Lion and the Serpent.
And I think you said this is the chapter where they fight on the Quidditch pitch.
Mm-hmm. And
I mean,
Malfoy gets the crap beat out of him.
There's a few situations where it would have been great if Harry just did that.
I think this is a moment, though, to show how Harry is not being the most rational of human beings.
I'm just saying it would have been funny.
Oh, it would have been funny.
Especially because they haven't learned non-verbal spells yet.
Right.
So it's the most powerful spell he knows, really, at that point.
It's a silencing spell. Yeah, that's true.
And then what are you going to do? Malfoy has no power.
I wonder how that would have gone. Do you think he still would have been banned from Quidditch? Knowing Umbridge, she might have done it
100%.
anyway.
But I mean, it would have been funnier if he did it that way.
But then he
I like this comment just because of the possibilities.
If he'd have just done it to Malfoy.
Yeah.
Fair enough. Just fun.
Yeah.
Solid comment. Thanks for that. All right. Now we're going to talk about this one. We're going to mention Brianna Stringfield's comment here. She says, "Yay, thank you so much. I honestly just got a little giddy." You're welcome. We're reading another one of your comments.
Yes.
So hopefully that's just as exciting. When it comes to the Hermione thing, I'm still stuck on it. Even if she were to just have been giving shade to Lavender Brown in divination, I don't think you just get to pick and choose when it's most convenient for you. I also think maybe they do sort too soon because my inner hat is screaming Slitherclaw for Miss Granger.
100. I could definitely see Hermione as a Slytherin in some ways.
So Hermione was almost a hat stall.
She was?
Do you know what a hat stall is?
When the hat just can't choose.
If a person's got the hat on for 5 minutes and the hat can't make a decision, they're considered a hat stall. And Hermione sat there for 4.5 minutes or something like that. And the hat was trying to decide between Gryffindor or Ravenclaw.
Oh, okay.
So she was very closely almost a Ravenclaw. And it has also been said that thank God Hermione was sorted into Gryffindor, because had she been sorted into Slytherin, she could have been someone quite as formidable as, say, Bellatrix Lestrange.
Oh, 100%. I don't think she has that evil streak, though, like Bellatrix does.
She did that shit to Marietta.
Yeah,
She scarred that girl for life.
Yeah.
She also kept Rita Skeeter in a jar for a really, really long time.
Okay, yeah, she definitely has Slytherin tendencies.
That's what I'm saying. Hermione, and she sent those birds to attack Ron.
And Ron kind of deserved it.
He did deserve it, but she did physically hurt him.
Well, yeah, but
he was being rude.
Yeah.
He was being
rude. He was flaunting that. I mean,
yes. Well, he was trying to make Hermione jealous. Yeah. Come on, we all know. But Hermione has instances where she definitely can be vindictive, and
I'm trying to think, because Hermione definitely has Gryffindor tendencies.
Absolutely.
Ravenclaw, Slytherin. And I guess you could say she will do anything for her friends, so there's a bit of Hufflepuff.
Mm-hmm.
She's like equal parts all houses.
But she's very Ravenclaw logic-minded.
Oh, yeah.
Which is why the hat had a hard time deciding. Also, Peter Pettigrew is another one who was almost a hat stall.
Oh, yeah, I could see that. What we know about him now.
You can see why the hat...
selfishness, yeah.
And then what we come to find out later about Snape. Just saying.
Honestly, I guess the only advice I could give Harry in this situation is make Ron your secret keeper. not Hermione. Our next comment is by Ed M. I don't recall Dumbledore never asking Harry to risk his life. Book 1, all Harry curiosity. Book 2, all Harry. Book 3, all Harry. Book 4, Harry was put in a bad position, not by Dumbledore. Book 5, all Harry being a rebel and not listening. Book 6, Dumbledore only took Harry along because Harry wanted to, and just under some conditions. Harry is just lashing out. Dumbledore's young ideas under context are understanding. Muggles hurt his sister.
This comment is rather short, but there is a lot in it, and we could do a whole video just on this.
Yes,
So,
definitely.
we'll just do piece by piece. So, book 1, Dumbledore totally lets Harry take a crack at that.
You think so?
Absolutely. He's letting Harry test the waters with the whole Sorcerer's Stone thing. Philosopher's Stone. Totally 100%. Absolutely.
You think Dumbledore knew that he was going down?
It's Snape! Told Dumbledore, that dog bit me. I cut Quirrell off. He was going after the stone. The dog bit me. He was going for it. And he let in the troll. Just telling you. Don't tell me Dumbledore did not know and that Snape did not tell him. Because Dumbledore told Snape to go to the corridor to make sure no one was trying to get in there. He totally let Harry have a crack at that.
But did he know Harry? He knew what Quirrell was, but did he know that Harry was
Harry was what?
going to attempt to sneak
He
out?
wanted to see if Harry would do it and how well Harry would do. He wanted to see what Harry was made of.
Oh. He succeeds? Great. If he doesn't, well, there's one Horcrux down.
Because he talks about it at King's Cross, where he's like, I had to. And in the Prince's Tale, when Harry sees that, like, Snape says you've raised him for slaughter, and Dumbledore is like, I should have told you all this stuff, and Dumbledore's like, I knew right out from the beginning that the end goal was that you would have to die, and I had to see what you were made of and how this was going to go. And he talks about how he's in the hospital wing with him in the first book, and he says, I wanted to tell you everything when you were 11, but you were so little, and I didn't want to burden you, and then it became harder and harder. He had grown to really love and care about Harry. And I think it started in book 1, where he kind of let Harry find things out to see what Harry was made of, and how much Dumbledore was going to have to do in order to steer Harry in that direction. Book 2, I feel like Dumbledore's pulling all the strings. As soon as he knows that the Chamber of Secrets is open again, he knows what's up. He knows. I don't think he knows, right, because he doesn't know about the diary being a Horcrux or anything like that. Because once everything happens in the Chamber of Secrets, then he figures out about Horcruxes. That's his, like, evidence. But once the Chamber of Secrets is open and the whole thing with Hagrid starts and everything else, he's, like, definitely like, something's up. And he totally hired Lockhart on purpose to out him as a fraud.
Yeah, probably.
Totally did that on purpose.
And also, if you know the position's cursed, why would you hire any good teachers?
Which is really kind of a mean thing to do to Lupin.
Yeah, that is.
That's kind of a... Dumbledore, that was kind of rude to hire Lupin.
Yeah, out of all the things that Dumbledore has done, I think that's the thing that annoys me the most.
That was really mean on his part, actually.
Yeah.
Well, maybe he thought if Lupin was cursed as a werewolf, it wouldn't, like, double curse him. I don't know. Or maybe Dumbledore just didn't think about it. I don't know.
Or maybe Lupin knew and he was just like, that's fine, I'll do it.
Or maybe Lupin was only there to keep Harry safe because Sirius Black escaped.
Yeah, maybe Lupin was just like, I don't care if it's cursed, come and protect Harry from that wretch, Sirius.
Also, he probably needed the money.
That too.
Can you imagine that conversation in Dumbledore's office? Oh, Severus, I want to talk to you about the Defense Against the Dark Arts position this year. Oh. Really? Yes, I think I've made a decision about who shall fill the post. Oh, really?
I'm honored, sir.
I don't know what to say, Headmaster. I've decided to hire Remus Lupin. You went to school together. I trust you remember him, don't you?
Yes, I remember.
Book 4? Yeah, I don't think Dumbledore really put Harry up to anything in book 4. I think Dumbledore really got the best of Dumbledore in that one.
Yeah.
They did.
Book 5, same thing, I think.
Well, book 5 was definitely Dumbledore retreating from Harry and trying not to tell him anything and not involve him, and Harry just having wicked PTSD and being 15.
Here's the thing. I think there's...
And then book 6 is Dumbledore realizing his mistake from book 5 and being like, all right, Harry, I'm going to tell you everything. Almost. I'm going to tell you everything except that you're a Horcrux. I'm going to tell you almost everything.
The only thing is, I guess going back to 1, 2, and 3, I don't think Dumbledore really did anything. I don't know if he was pulling strings. I think it was just neutrality on his part. I don't think he, maybe he could have stopped Harry, but he didn't. But I don't think he pushed him to do anything either. He was just kind of like, I'm not looking.
No, I don't think... I think that's what I'm trying to say is he didn't push Harry to do anything, but he also had the ability to stop Harry from doing anything, and he didn't, which is why I'm saying I think Dumbledore was letting Harry test his strength by just kind of sitting back and observing and not doing anything.
Yeah.
And book 7, I think Harry's issues with Dumbledore in book 7 are issues that every person deals with when they grow up, when they realize that the person they've looked up to their entire life has a past and has made bad decisions and isn't perfect, and you have to come to terms with that and still love them anyway. It's like when you realize your parents aren't perfect people, you have to accept it. And that's what Harry goes through with Dumbledore. He has to come to terms with the fact that Dumbledore wasn't perfect.
When you start to know more than your parents,
Yeah.
No, I'm telling you, Pluto isn't a planet.
And Dumbledore's young ideas and everything, how he got roped in with Grindelwald, it's absolutely understandable.
Oh, yeah.
What happened.
I mean, young angst is what they did to his sister, and he just wants revenge.
And he, his whole thing with Aberforth saying, Dumbledore was never home. He never wanted to be home. He never wanted to take care of his sister. It wasn't glamorous. And when Dumbledore was young, he felt that way. He didn't want to stay home. He didn't want to take care of his sister. He did not want to do that. He wanted to go off gallivanting all over the world with Grindelwald. He was being very selfish.
But, I mean, what 19-year-old wouldn't want that,
Well...
I'm sorry. Right, he was 19. He was out of school.
He was out of school. I mean, Aberforth didn't feel that way.
Well, no, but Aberforth is the older brother, isn't he?
No.
No?
Albus was the older brother. Aberforth very much was involved in taking care of his sister. And but that's what makes...
Aberforth had the example of Dumbledore doing the wrong thing.
Right.
So...
But what I'm saying about Dumbledore being that way, being that selfish, and then losing his sister makes the loss all the more tragic for him. Because had he been there, had he been doing the right... It's like the only unforgivable sin is the one you can't forgive yourself for, and Dumbledore could never forgive himself for what happened to Ariana, because he's always going to be in the back of his mind, if I hadn't have done this, if I'd have done that, if I'd have done that.
This is a great conversation. But like you said, we can make an entire video about this.
We have to...
maybe this is a topic we can discuss in a video.
Maybe we should. Maybe we should just do a short live stream sometime where we have people ask us questions.
Yeah,
if you guys are interested in just doing a stream where y'all get on and you ask us questions and just talk about stuff, let us know and we'll set it up.
Yeah.
Leave us a comment. Next, we only got a couple more.
Polly Perger says, great ending. Also, enormous thanks to your effort and work. Your reading is amazing. But I still have this question that concerns me a lot. Where is Nymeria? Ghost is on the wall, soon behind it. Grey Wind is a war hero defeating the enemies. Lady's dead.
May she rest in peace.
Rest in peace. Summer and Shaggy Dog are cheerily hanging out in Winterfell. But what's with Nymeria? Did Lannisters decide to keep her? Did they kill her? Did she escape? Such a mystery.
This is a comment in response to A Game of Thrones, chapter 73, Daenerys. That is the final chapter of the first book.
And I agree, once again, where is Nymeria?
Where is Nymeria? Polly, we too would like to know where Nymeria is.
I love this recurring theme because it happens to me every few chapters. Every time we hear about Arya, it's like, fool. But what about Nymeria?
Where is she?
Where is she?
And every time they talk about Arya, they're always like, oh yeah, and there's wolves in the forest. Is it Nymeria? Where is Nymeria? Where is she?
Right? She doing all right? She hunting?
All right, so this is our penultimate comment. We have one more, and then we are going to sign off for the week. So this comment was by Lindsay Barclay. It's important to teach your kids how to react when they are called names, no matter how hurtful. Just laugh. The goal of those launching the insults is to hurt your feelings, and when they find they can't, they usually back off. Malfoy 1. This is in response to chapter 19, The Lion and the Serpent from the Order of the Phoenix.
Exactly. Or just put the silencing charm on him and then they can't insult you.
This chapter triggered quite a few responses.
Yeah, it did. But I think it's 100% accurate.
Turning the other cheek is very important. Pick your battles is very important. I remember reading in To Kill a Mockingbird that Atticus Finch teaches Scout not to give a reaction. I remember my mom teaching me the same thing. When you give those kinds of people a reaction, you're giving them exactly what they want. They want to get a rise out of you. Malfoy totally won here.
Exactly.
And he wins multiple times. Ron punches him in the face in book 1.
Mm-hmm.
Gives him a black eye. Mad-Eye Moody turns him into a ferret. Although that was great.
I guess there's another thing. If someone tries to call you names, you can always just turn them into a ferret and bounce them around.
That's true. That's true. They may
Although,
listen.
If you're capable of doing that, I don't think many people are calling you names.
Probably
So,
not.
You know,
Probably not.
I wouldn't.
But this was just a good comment and great lesson to everybody. Absolutely. Don't give those people the satisfaction. All right, I lied. That was not our penultimate comment. This is our penultimate comment.
This comment is by Braxton Allen. I really wish that McGonagall's inspection was in the movie. I wanted to see her yell at Umbridge. Also, according to the Harry Potter wiki, Harry still had scars on his hand as an adult. Yes.
This was from Order of the Phoenix, Chapter 15, The Hogwarts High Inquisitor.
Yes. I 100% agree. I've said it many times, and I'll say it again. I wish we had that.
Me too.
Altercation between Umbridge and McGonagall was just perfect.
Legendary.
There's one thing that should have been left in the movie. It was that.
Yes.
And yeah, I'm not surprised that Harry still has the scars.
Yeah.
I wonder
That
how he
sucks.
explained that to his kids when they asked, where'd you get those scars? You want to know how I got these scars?
Yes, Dolores. Should have been in this. That is one of my favorite moments in the book. Should have been in the movie. Also, I would have paid good money to have the date at Madame Puttyfoot's in the movie.
I don't know.
I would have killed to see Daniel Radcliffe act that out.
It would have been great.
He would have been great.
At the same time, is one of those scenes that would have been so awkward. It would have made me feel uncomfortable watching.
Yeah, it would have been great.
No, I
It would
hate
have been
that.
like watching The Office.
It would have been one of those times where I gotta kind of just pause it and walk away. Get my mind in the right place again.
Last comment again, Polly Perger. Here we go. She's full of lovely comments. When Eddard is talking to Cersei, there was this comparison of her and Catelyn. He thought, for her children, I don't know what she would be able to do. And as I remember, there was something like, she would push Jon, and I burst out laughing out loud. I really believe that Cat and Cersei are pretty much the same, they're just put in different environments. This is from A Game of Thrones, chapter 58, Sansa.
100%. I think it's a perfect comparison because everything that they do is for their children and their family.
They're very
And
fierce in
yeah,
that regard. Both of them are, for sure.
and really most of the issues that happen are all kicked off because of, well, what Catelyn does and then stuff that happens with Joffrey.
Yeah, it very much is all surrounded by the mother's actions taken based off of things that happen with their children.
Really, I mean, if you want to compare Game of Thrones and Harry Potter, there's one underlying theme through all of them. It's all about a mother's love.
A mother's love, yeah.
The
It's
whole
very...
story is based off of it.
Yeah, you wouldn't have Harry Potter without that big theme rampaging through the entire 7 books.
Mm-hmm. And then it's kind of counterintuitive to the other theme we have, which is love is the death of duty.
You know what I just thought?
When love is your duty.
You know what I just thought? If Cersei and Catelyn are two sides of the same coin, Mrs. Weasley and Narcissa would be the comparisons. Mrs. Weasley would be kind of more of like your Catelyn character, and Cersei would be like the Narcissa. Both very opposite ends of the spectrum would bend heaven and earth for their children.
Yeah. I think I think if Joffrey wasn't such a little, you know what, I think as a reader you would be much more compassionate towards Cersei and everything she's doing. I know
Cersei is one of my favorite
I know the
characters.
first time I went through, like, I liked her as a character, but I hated her. When I first read it, like, I thought she was a great character, but I hated her. But now that I'm going through a second time, I really understand where she's coming from, and I'm seeing that more with the mother's love. And like Polly says here, like, I 100% agree. It's her and Catelyn are just the same,
right? And I think
they just happen to be in different kingdoms.
Yeah. Also, you know, if you want to say, well, Catelyn is a much better mother. Catelyn this, she treated Jon like garbage. Okay. Yeah. Hence she would push Jon. Don't tell me Cersei would do that. She would. She would.
Yeah, 100%.
Especially if there was a bastard child that threatened the rule of her son, because Catelyn talked about that all the time.
You mean when Jon comes to say bye to Bran, she even says, it should have been you.
That's a Cersei thing to say.
Yeah.
That is such a Cersei thing to say.
On that note, that's about all the comments we have.
Yeah, that's all the time we have for comments this week. Thank you very much for leaving all those wonderful comments. We will go through later and actually give a response. But keep commenting, and next week we will go through and pick our top favorites and respond to them. Good.
So be sure to leave a comment on this video. Let us know what you think. Like this video, and be sure to subscribe to the channel if you're not subscribed yet. Thanks so much. Always recommend your videos to my students in order to improve their listening. Please keep going. Subscription for life until the very end.
I loved this comment just because I'm a sucker, and until the very end, that got me a little bit in the feels. I was just like, oh.
And we will keep going.
We will not stop.
Always.
Ooh.
Oh, yeah.